What is up guys, Shockwave here, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are back here on the Hunter Classic and it is spooky season. So we are here on Timber Gold Trails and we're going to be going after some of these werewolves. We're probably going to die quite a few times, but hopefully we'll be able to get at least a few albinos or a couple cool ones. I think the biggest male I've got right now is 358 or something, and I got that on my live stream last night. So I have hunted these a little bit, and you know, this Halloween event is the same as it has been for the past few years, so I do know a little bit about hunting these things, so I will try and give you guys a few tips. We'll start off, and I'll just show you kind of what I like to do, where I find them. So as you can see, I do have a tent here in the middle of the reserve, and I usually like running down this road, something like this, and sometimes I will cut off and go up this way, but if not, I'll usually end up going up there. Obviously, sometimes I get sidetracked and I'll end up going across the river and somehow end way up here, but I typically try to follow these two routes here. Now, as you can see, this lodge is actually very close to this spot, so if you don't have a tent, I would recommend doing this little route right here. Me and a friend of mine actually killed quite a few over here last night. You can also come from this lodge and just follow the road, and I will explain why you want to follow the road in a minute. But you can just follow the road and literally do a route all the way to this other lodge, and you are for sure going to run into a bunch of them. But pretty much just cover this area, and if you want to know my favorite actual location for them, it's going to be in that big circle. So that's where we're going to try and stay around today. Um, Obviously, if you've never hunted these, you have to have the silver bullets or the silver crossbow bolts, and I do use the crossbow, so this is the ammo that we're going to be using. Obviously, you can buy this, but you're going to have the Wolfsbane pistol or the Wolfsbane crossbow pistol. You also might want to add this to your setup and use the hockey mask. It does give visual reduction and scent reduction and sound reduction to werewolves. And one thing that a few people have asked me while I've been streaming this is, why do I not use this crossbow scope? And I will explain that in just a second, but first I just want to go over what you should do when you find a werewolf and what it's going to be like when you find one. So you're going to hear a scary howling, growl noise, whatever you want to call it, and pretty much when you hear that, you know there's one very close, and it's pretty much all the time going to charge you. So that's when you pull out your pistol or your crossbow pistol, and what I like to do is actually try and pinpoint where they're coming from. So say this one's going to come from where the sign is. I'll aim in and I'll slowly start backpedaling, and you don't want to shoot these guys at far away. You want to let them get within probably 5 meters before you take a shot. That's the best way I've found to do it, and it does seem to work. I wouldn't recommend, going about this like any other animal, and I wouldn't recommend crouching or anything. You can kind of sneak up on them, and they will howl and let you know where they're at before they're going to run after you, but most of the time I just like running around. They say if you whistle, you can actually attract them more. I don't know how true that is, but I did try it on stream last night, and it seems to work. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started here. As you can see, one of them's killed an elk over here. Not really, but the reason that I said you wanted to stay on the road is because if you get in trees or rocks or anything, any kind of cover, they're going to hit that stuff and just kind of rubber band around it, and it's very hard to predict where they're going and very hard to actually hit them whenever they do that. So like I said, I would definitely recommend just staying on the road, trying to find an open space. And as you can see, it sounds like this one's going to be coming from right here in this direction. So I'm just going to run around a little bit. Let's see if I can hear him growling. So that is the charging sound. I'm going to go ahead and aim in where I think he's coming from. Slowly backpedal. And then shoot whenever it gets fairly close to me. I don't know actually how far away I'll let them get. It's probably about 5 meters right there. So that is how I personally do it. Some people have different, ways that they do it. The only way you're going to be able to drop these things with either Weapon is a brain shot or a heart shot, and as you can see, this method usually hits the brain and the heart. So this was a female. It is the first one, so I'll give you guys a little bit of a better look if you haven't seen these yourself. I do not have the trophy shot poses for these animals, but they are pretty cool. So this is what these things look like. Very ugly, very scary looking, and if you've never hunted these, I definitely recommend it. It's a good bit of fun, and they are very, very fast, so just keep that in mind. They're very big, very fast, and they can be hard to hit. I definitely recommend carrying a lot of med kits and a lot of ammo. Last night in the stream, I think I killed around 30 of these in one hunt, so they're definitely not hard to find. Yeah, I do carry a rifle with me while I'm hunting these just because it seems like big animals like to come out and play whenever you're out hunting the werewolves, but so far this year I haven't had any luck as far as that goes. But you never know, it could change here today. Another thing I would say is don't really go near water unless you're looking for the skulls, the collectibles, and I will talk about that a little bit later. But I wouldn't recommend trying to hunt these werewolves near the water because they actually really hate the water, and whenever they like run towards it, they'll just turn around and flee the other direction. But if you're trying to get away from one, then the water's not a bad idea. So here comes another one. And you just want to try and pinpoint where it's going to come from. And as you can see, that wasn't actually a kill shot. That's just going to be body blood. And whenever you do hit one only in the body, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to go and track it down, and then it's going to come after you again. Now, if you do walk while you do this, you'll probably hear, you'll actually get a call from it howling. But most of the time, I just end up running right after them, and they will attack you again, so just keep that in mind. But this one is just a female. I don't know that I want to get in all this thick stuff just to have a female run after me, but I would like to show you the tracks. So right here, this is what the tracks look like. It's literally just a giant wolf track, and you pick it up and you can see that the picture's all blurred out, and if you have high enough spotting and tracking, obviously you can tell the weight, the score, and everything else. But we do have another one. I'm hoping to get an albino. They do look really cool. I've killed a few this year, and I have a few mounted, but I'd like to show you guys what the albinos look like. I also have a kill shot compilation of these taken from the live stream that I'm going to upload here soon. Oh, actually, speaking of the devil, that is an albino male. So, I don't know how big he's going to be, but that's pretty cool. As you can see, the albinos are not very rare. I don't know the exact like percentage of an albino coming after you, but I would say it's probably like 1 in 10, something like that. But this one is not going to be too big. I will take a trophy shot with it, just because I really enjoy the way the albinos look. And as far as trophy shots go for these guys, the best advice I could give you is try and grab them halfway up their back and kind of stand them up. I think that is a very cool way of showing these guys off. And obviously with the new trophy shot features, it is a little bit easier to do. Just broke his jaw there though. Alright, so definitely not the best trophy shot, but this is what the albinos look like. And I think that's good enough for me. I will say the warmth shows them pretty good, and the chroma kind of shows off the albinos as well, but I kind of like the way this one looks. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. Now, something else that I did want to talk about is obviously on the clock it always stays 4:15 no matter how long you hunt. The time's never going to change. And it is very dark out. Also, if you don't have the best PC, I would recommend putting your scene complexity on medium or low. As you can see, the trees up there are kind of patchy, but it definitely helps with the FPS drops that you get whenever playing. But as I was saying, it is very dark out here, and there's only one tip that I truly have to maybe help you with this. If you have the Ace sunglasses, then I would recommend putting those on, and you can use those if you want to. As you can see, I don't have them on right now, but this is with those on, and it does seem to be a little bit brighter, and sometimes you can, I don't know if you can actually see more if it just makes the whole screen brighter, but a lot of people do use that, and it is pretty helpful sometimes whenever you get in these weird little areas and you can't see too much. Another thing is whenever it actually rains, you can see pretty much everything, so as weird as it is, this is kind of the only time you're going to be praying for rain. But we got another one over here. Let's see if we can get in a little bit of a better position for this one. I think it's going to come from right over here somewhere. Alright, so that one actually never ended up charging after us. And that is pretty scary. I think it is probably the one that I already shot that I got body blood on. But I'm definitely not going in that thick stuff to figure that out. So I'm just gonna continue going up through here. Yeah, so I really don't know what's going on here. That one didn't end up charging either, so I don't know. That one could have been across the river though, and just kind of walked towards the water and took off running. Alright, so we got another one here. Maybe this one will actually charge after us? Yep, this one is definitely coming after us. And it is another albino, but it's in such a bad spot. As you can see, sometimes it does not work out in your favor. And when you get in a position like this, obviously I made a very poor shot there, but when you do get in a position like this, they seem to run like this. They don't actually stay in one spot, so it can be very hard to actually kill the ones that are running around like that. But that was a female. I've got quite a few female albinos. Not too interested in that. Gonna try to at least find one decent scoring one before this is over. Uh-oh. Sounds like we've got two now. I don't know. Yeah, definitely didn't kill that one. I think we might even have three of them here. So we got that one. But I do think there's another one up here. I don't know, we might be safe for right now, but go ahead and pick this one up. I do believe this was a female, and this was actually the first one that we shot, as weird as that is. Or, I think the first one we shot? I don't know. One of the ones that we didn't kill. But, we're just gonna continue on to show you where we're at. We're right about here, and I believe so far I've killed 4 or 5 of them. Oh, that is not a werewolf. I think it was just fake charging me there. That is a werewolf. I think it's another albino. Definitely hit it. Not the best shot, but seems to be dropping lung and heart blood. And that was the albino that recently ran from us, the female, so I guess we might as well track it now that we've hit it. And this is a decent time for you to see how they act whenever you hit them in the lung. And as you can see, if you do end up spooking one, or well, not spooking one, if you end up not killing one and it runs you over, or whatever, even if you get body blood on one, they do not end up running too far. So pretty much no matter what, you should be in the same general area as most of them. And this is actually something that I was waiting to find. I don't know how well you can see that, but that is a blue skull collectible. And I'm not 100% certain on the like rarity scale of those. This is also what werewolf poop looks like. I don't know if you can see that either, but it's just a pile of bones. So yeah, I'm not too sure about the rarity like scale for the collectibles, but I will say a few good locations to look for those are one around the shoreline of ponds and the river, and another really good spot to find those is actually in the shooting ranges at the lodge. So if you are looking for those, then maybe they can help you out. So got one making some noise up here, and sometimes that can be the one that you just shot, and sometimes they end up making that sound right when they're dying. So yeah, I'm not hearing anything running after me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a guess of that that is the one that we just shot, and it's ended up actually dying somewhere over here. So yeah, as you can see, there it is laying dead, right where that call just was from. But yeah, had a feeling that was gonna be a different one. We did end up hitting that one, but I shot too soon. So we are gonna run over here and grab this little albino, and you can see that we pretty much hit her everywhere besides the brain or the heart. So we did end up getting left lung. I think that's a pretty big female, but I'm not too sure. Alright guys, so we are over here at the lodge now. We're gonna run pretty much the opposite of what we just did, and see if we can get over here near the lodge. So, let me know if you guys have been hunting werewolves. Maybe this is the first Halloween event you've been a part of, so if so, how's it been? Have you killed any big ones, or at least enjoyed your time? It's definitely a fun event, and it's probably the most popular thing to do with the Hunter Classic anymore. A lot of people enjoy this, but it is, it's been the same for as long as I can remember as far as Halloween goes. So it is fun, but I definitely don't want to lay on Timber Gold trails for a week and try killing these things every day. That one was fairly hard to see. I didn't actually see it until he got right at that little pine tree or whatever. But it is another female. I would like to at least get one decent male before we end off here. So I am willing to bet that this is the male we've been tracking down, and he's gonna give us a second chance, and hopefully we can redeem ourselves for that first shot. I really don't like these rocks up here in front of me, but that was a very weird shot. The branch actually got it right there in front of me, but we finally got a male, and of course he is not gonna be very big, but that is where we're gonna end this video off. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you ended up enjoying this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, and let me know down below in the comments if you've had fun hunting these werewolves, and just what your favorite part about Halloween is in general. Maybe it's this, maybe it's carving pumpkins, who knows. Also, I just want to say that I have been streaming on twitch.tv/SirShockwaveGaming. I stream mostly the Hunter Classic and a few other games, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.